Hello, I'm going to speak today about NVMe migration. So this is a disk migration. I am on Windows 10, and you will see all this illustration with computer Trident 3 of MSI. I am Thierry Bremard, senior software engineer. I am mainly working in I have started to work as a C developer in 2008, 2 years, and I am a C# developer for 10 years. And so I'm not a professional hardware, but I like to look at everything which is linked to computer programming or computers. We will discuss about today how to initialize an external disk, NVMe and SATA, how to create a system recovery image on Windows, how to recover this image from a blank NVMe, delete non-critical partitions, because we will see in fact that by creating the system recovery image, Windows does not allow us to select the specific partition that we want. And the focus of this migration is to migrate the C drive on the EFI partition so that it is still bootable, and to expand this C drive after and to have another additional D drive. So there is some operations to do post migration, and then we will restore the archive data. The existing tools are Norton Ghost, but so existing or the tool which existed. Norton Ghost was a very nice software which was usable on all versions of Windows, but since some years it is not anymore available. That's a shame because it was extremely powerful and very friendly. Then there is Acronis, which is a big commercial company. I have bought Acronis license. I have tried it, and I was very unpleased about its behavior. My goal was to clone a partition to make some backup, and Acronis comes with some embedded features that you cannot deactivate, like for example Trojan detector, ransomware detector, and a lot of service which takes a lot of computer processing. So I do not recommend Acronis anymore. And furthermore, it does not give a correct system view with clever word of what you are doing. For example, if you want to create a system image, if you want to create an image, you cannot find the word image in their documentation or in their tools menu. So there are a lot of things I do not like anymore on Acronis, even if internally it has some interesting, it is powerful, but I do not like the design it is now. Now there is Clonezilia also, which is something which is free, that you can download on a bootable key. It is powerful, but a little complex to use. By complex I mean there's a lot of screens, a lot of options to select. It is not hard, but it is not just one single click process. You must maybe go to 10 different screens or more to do backup and restoration. But once the system has been migrated, you can easily make a partition image with this, and I would recommend Clonezilia after having made the NVMe migration. Maybe all the operation I will explain can be done with Clonezilia. I don't know. I prefer to use Windows Suite because Windows now with Windows 10 can provide the operation to make disk migration. Because I was afraid to corrupt the bootable the bootable partition, I didn't use Clonezilia with the C because it was linked to the C drive. So I use Windows and C to back up the bootable partition on the C drive on the other partition of the disk because this cannot be removed. And maybe after using Clonezilia alone only for the C drive partition could be a good idea. So we are going to use Windows. So I'm with Windows 10, and in Windows you can create what is called a system image. To do so, you can right-click on Start. So this is a documentation of Windows. Control Panel, System Maintenance, Backup. So this is not correct with my version of Windows 10. In fact, in Control Panel, you go directly to Backup and Restore. Not System Maintenance, but Backup and Restore. Oh, it is here. So okay, it is there. In the left panel, choose Create a System Image. You will see this in the video after. And once the image has been created, so this will create a system image hot in the hot mode. There is two modes when you create a backup. There is a hot mode when your computer do not need to restart, on the cold mode. The cold mode is when your computer is restarted and there is no operating system which is running. So the system image created by Windows is working, but it is done in hot mode. So it is done when Windows is already running. I didn't, I'm as a like system engineer, and I like the things which are reliable. I do not like the idea to make a system image in hot mode. I prefer the cold mode. But the fact is that it works. So I did the system image in the hot mode because with Windows you cannot set which mode you want. The thing is, you must be aware that Windows works with the hot mode, unlike Clonezilla, for example, which is cold mode. Once the system recovery has been done, you can swap the drive on the physical machine. Then, of course, the new drive will be blank and cannot be bootable. So the thing is that you must use a system repair bootable USB key that you must previously have created on Windows. So you can look another video on YouTube to do this. I will not explain how to do it in this video. With the system bootable reparation tool of Windows that you can boot on, you have system recovery options. This is coming from the Microsoft website, and in these different options, you can select a system image recovery. What you must be aware of is that this system image recovery that you have just created before, as explained in this slide, system image recovery, it requires a full disk. It requires full access to a given disk. So in this operation, in fact, I will make a migration from one USB-C drive to another one. So I need a new NVMe drive, but in fact I need two new hard disks, the destination target and one temporary disk to store this image recovery. That's all for the introduction, and now we are going to see the live experiment.
I have here the black NVMe drive from Western Digital. This is a SN750, which has a connector of 2280 M2 2280, and the first thing is to try to initialize the disk. So to initialize, I will connect it to the PC, and the issue is that here we have a 2280 connector. The PC has a USB connector, and to do this we have an adapter, USB Type-C tool for M2, and the output is USB Type-C. This one is from Sabrent, and the good thing is that you can have it open like this. You connect the M2 slot, then the little thing which is not perfect is that you must close it to connect it to the USB-C. I say this is not perfect because in the case you have a heatsink, there is a version with a heatsink. I think this will not be able to be closable. But so I'm not impacted, but just be careful. If you buy this thing with the M2 with a heatsink, maybe you will not be able to close it and to have the connection. So we have these two. We put the NVMe inside this, then connect it to the PC, initialize the disk first. So the slot here with the little thing which is alone here goes here. So I'm going to put this like this. Okay, now I have the click. It has just been clicked and you see this, it is remaining up. And there is a little thumb here, which is in like in silicone, so that we can clip it gently. Okay, so it is clipped perfectly, and it is important to see that everything is connected here. Then I shut it down, and this version is quite nice because now it is closed, and if I want to open, I do not need any screwdriver. I can press it like this and open it. This is very good design. And now here I have the USB-C port. So now it is connected. So now I am in the computer management. I have the disk management where I see the different drives on my system. Disk 0 and disk 1 are the already existing drives that we see here. C, D, and backup. The C and the D are inside the disk 0 that we see here. C, D. The E drive is the disk 1 that we see here, E drive. So I have here 3 logical disks, but physically 2 disks that we see here. On the NVMe drive that is connected with USB-C of 1 terabyte is currently not displayed. So we are going to initialize the disk. On here, there is 2 options. The MBR is the old generation of the disk, and the GPT is the new generation of the disk. And the GPT must be used. And for example, here you can see that you are in GPT when you look at convert to MBR disk. The convert to MBR disk is shown on grade, and it's not usable currently because there is some data on this, but it means that if you can convert to MBR, this means that this disk is in GPT. And you can also maybe go here in the properties, and we should, I think, see somewhere that it is currently with GPT. Yes, partition style is partition table, UID partition table, GPT. So the 0 is in GPT, and the disk 1, if I look at the properties, is also in GPT. So I'm going to convert the disk 2 also to initialize the disk with the GPT. Okay. And now it is initialized and seen as of online. It is not yet displayed because once it has been initialized, it must be formatted. So to do this, we create a new simple volume. Next, we allocate a full a partition on the full disk of the size, on the full size of the disk. We assign a letter and we format it as the NTFS. And at the volume label, I will say that this is the SN750 to be able to recognize it after I perform a quick format. Next, finish. Okay, now it is LC and it is available here. And here now I should have 1 terabyte available. Capacity, okay, 1 terabyte available, which is free. Now we are going to see how to put the C drive inside the F drive to be able to boot on it. I have connected an additional disk in addition to the NVMe drive. So the additional disk is connected is USB and it will be used to create the system image of Windows. The idea behind is that I do not want to clone exactly this disk to this disk because I have here some recovery partition that I do not need anymore and I only want to put inside the new NVMe drive the UEFI partition on the Windows partition on the data partition. I do not need these two partitions. So to do so, I'm going to create a system image with the Windows internal tools. And the problem of this tool is that it requires a full disk to create a system image. You cannot create a system image in a single file, but to a dedicated disk. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to initialize the disk with the GPT, then allocate here a new NTFS partition. Format NTFS with a quick format. Next, finish. Okay. So this is, where is my, formatting. It is still formatting. And it is taking more time because this disk is not a NVMe SSD. This disk is the old magnetic generation. And I forgot to name it, so I'm going to properties and give it the name. I will say this will be the WD Black. WD Black, which is another SSD drive, which is not this one. So now I have this will be the target of the system recovery. I'm going to disconnect physically this drive. So I'm going to plug out, maybe to be sure, I'm going to go there. And as both, okay, so this is SN750 that I want to remove, so I'm going to eject like this. It is ejected. I'm going to remove it physically. Okay, it is removed physically. And now I can instruct Windows to boot, to create the recovery with these things. And in fact, this one will be like a pivot between the two drives. So it will store all the files that I want to use, but I will not be able to boot on it. Then I will trigger the recovery system when this will be blank with a new NVMe drive, and we'll manage to put them back. Settings, okay. Then he says update on security, update on security, okay, and click on backup. Click on backup. So Windows security, backup, okay, backup. Backup using file history. Backup your file on to another drive and restore them if the original are lost, damaged, etc. Backup files to OneDrive. No. Backup your files to another drive. I think it's this. Under looking for an older backup selection, click go to backup and restore Windows 7 options. Click on create image system. Oh, so it doesn't want to propose to create an image system. I should click here, look for an older backup. If you created a backup using Windows 7 backup and restore tool, it is still working in Windows 10. Go to OK. On here there is a create a system image, which is funny. It's not very intuitive to create. So okay, create a system image. Yes. Looking for backup devices. Okay, a system image is a copy of the drive required for Windows to run. It can also include additional drives. So I want here, you see my target. My target here is my WD Black, and I will not select my backup drive because my backup drive is in fact a drive that I am using. It is this one where there are some files already. So I will use this as a pivot to make a system recovery on a hard drive. So I'm going to make this here, next. Next. On here, I choose what I want to put. So here is going to put the EFE partition, the C. Oh, you put me again this, I don't like it. Then this. Okay. So I will, after my recovery, I will try to delete by hand this thing that I do not need. I do not want any partition to lose maybe almost 0.8 terabyte with this. I don't care. I cannot unselect the D drive. This is stupid. This is stupid. Because me, what I want is to be bootable without reinstalling my files. To have the D drive is not of importance. But why not? Okay, it's not harming. This is a dedicated drive. I have some space, so I can do it. So your backup are being saved on WD Black G. Okay, on this I do not need. Okay, so I'm going to next. Backup location WD Black. The backup could take up to 216 GB of disk space, no problem. EFE, C, WinRAR, D. Okay, start backup. Now we are going to save, and it is going to take some time. And after this, it should be good. So the system image has been successfully completed. At the end of the process, it opens a pop-up to ask you if you want to create a system repair disk. This is to create a bootable USB drive to trigger the recovery tools in the boot. I have already done this, so you can do it if you want, but me, I will say no, I do not want because I already have it. So no, the backup is successfully completed, close. Okay. So now that the backup is done, here we see still the WD Black G with Windows image backup. I am not allowed to look at this. Okay, there is the name of my PC. I continue, yes. Okay, oh, the backup is there. Okay, with some, oh, he's stupid with these pop-ups. Backup logs. What is this error log? Nothing, no error. Okay, good. Let's look at this. Okay, so here there is a files. VHDX file, component, okay. So we have files like this, which take the data. Okay, so if I want to look how much, this is 193 gigabyte. Okay, okay, okay. So I have this G drive, which stores the Windows system recovery image. Now that I have this, I will change the hardware to disconnect physically this drive and put the new NVMe drive and make a restoration from this drive to the new NVMe drive. So if we look here, we have currently 476 gigabytes on this drive. And I will replace the new version with the SN750. It will be 1 terabyte.
This is a PC from the outside, the hardware. This is a Trident 3, and I have made another video where I detail the operation, the protocol to unmount the thing. So I will do it faster than the previous video. If you want more details, refer to the previous video. So
the MSI logo is there, and I say we should unclip progressively this part, like this. So you see how it looks like, okay? 3, 4. Close screws are removed. Then we pull this like this, okay? And you need to pull because
we must pull these parts on the back. So I put my fingers, my thumb on the metal here, barrier, on my fingers here. So I do like this. Okay. Now it has moved a little, and I should be able to move it like this. Okay. And you see why it is important to remove the cable from the motherboard, because it is linked like this. Good. And now that the thing has been removed, the drives should appear there. So we are going to see here the SATA drive, 2 point each, and the NVMe drive. Mark this heatsink with the foam is in fact connecting to this metal chassis, so it is dissipating the air. I do not know yet how I will be able to do this with the new drive, but now we have to remove the NVMe drive.
and I pull it slightly, and the NVMe drive comes out. Okay, so this heatsink can be removed very easily, which is good because this means that I will be able to plug it on the new NVMe drive. And it is important because of the contact with the metal above to dissipate. So my NVMe drive is there. I'm going to remove it. And here is my knife.
I put back the screw on.
So my computer is ready. I have unplugged the SATA drive because in the restoration process I do not want it to be removed by error, erased by error. So this is something I have not shown. So I'm going to boot again. My recovery system is plugged in. My USB recovery key is there. And now my computer is booting. It will take some time, so the recovery key is loaded. Good, so I have this welcome screen. So I'm going to say that I have a US keyboard. Then I want... So my problem is that I do not manage to boot now because the main drive NVMe is empty, so I want to troubleshoot. Then I'm going here to select, I want a system image recovery. And now Windows is scanning the different peripherals. And because I have connected my recovery system, which the name is WD Black, I'm going to use it to recover on my NVMe. Exclude disk. Here I can select what should not be erased. I can say I do not understand why it is there. This is a USB recovery system. Of course, this should not be erased. And here is the target system, WDS 3X0C, which should be the target in fact. Okay, next. Your computer will be restored from the following system image, date and time. So this is today. Computer, yes. Drive to restore. So here there is a list of the different things to restore. There is a EFI system partition, which is very important to be bootable. Then the C drive. Then the volume, and the D drive. I couldn't select the D drive. Maybe this is the recovery system here. You see this? Maybe it's the recovery partition that I do not care. Maybe. I will see after if I can remove it. Okay, I want to finish. All this to be restored will be formatted and replaced with the layout and data of the system image. Are you sure you want to continue? Yes, I want to continue because I know that on my system I do not have any sensible data and I have unplugged my SATA drive. So no information is on the system. I do not risk anything. Re-image your computer. Windows is now restoring your computer from the system image. This might take from a few minutes to a few hours. So let's wait and we will see. Now he's restoring the D drive, which was not necessary because I want to change the size of the disk. But okay, one more time. When I created the restoration image, I could not exclude the D drive. What is important for me is to back up the main C drive where all the program files are installed on the UEFI partition to be able to boot. But it's like this, it's a transient system of restoration because I want to change the NVMe drive. Otherwise, there are other solutions to clone only one partition. Now I have booted on the new drive. I will look at the drive which are there, C and D. There is no other drive because I have unplugged it. So I'm going to manage and look what must be done. So disk management. So my disk is 1 terabyte wide. Okay. My partition has not moved, my EFI partition. My Windows C drive has not changed. My D drive is there, and here I have 500 gigabytes which are unallocated. What is the important thing is I want to keep these two partitions. And I want to have this C drive to be bigger. So this is important. This can go to the trash. So the D drive contains data which is important, but it's a copy of my other drive. So I can totally delete this file, delete this drive. So here I can. So this is already unallocated. So if I do not touch anything, the new size will be 500 gigabytes, the new available space. But I want to add this space, 20 gigabytes, this thing, 167, and here there is also 0.8 terabyte. So I want to have a bigger C partition. I want to have, let's say, 400 gigabytes. We have this issue that the recovery partition cannot be deleted via the disk manager system. When I right click, the option to delete is not available, while when I right click here, I can delete the volume. The solution to this is to use the disk part tool. I have noted down some command. So the disk part tool will list the disk, select the corresponding disk, then list the partition, select the corresponding recovery partition, then we'll delete the partition. So I'm going to follow these steps and we see in the background what is happening. So I'm going to launch disk part. Then I am going to ask this part to list the disk. There is only one disk because I have unplugged physically my secondary disk, and you see it here that there is only one disk. So there is no problem for me to select the disk 0. The disk 0 is now selected. Then I should list the partition. Here there is different partition. We see here partition 1 with a size of 100 megabytes, which is this one. There is this partition 2, which curiously is not displayed at all here, but it is quite small, so I can ignore it. The partition 3 primary 286 gigabytes is there that you see, so where there is a C drive with Windows. Then there is a recovery of 800 megabytes here that we want to delete. So I want to delete the partition 4. So this will be the 4. And then as declared as primary 167 gigabytes is this. This is a D drive that I want also to delete. And then the partition 6 recovery 21 gigabytes that I see here on the unallocated space is not displayed. So I'm going first to take the partition number 4, this one, of 800 megabytes. So let's do it. Select partition 4 and then delete partition override. This part successfully deleted the select partition, so I can list again the partition. And here I have 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. The number 4 is missing. And here we see dynamically it has been unallocated. I am going to do the same size with the partition 6 recovery of 21 gigabytes that we see here. So I am going to say I want to select the partition number 6. And now I am going to say I want to delete partition override. And at the same time, I will have a look here. Enter. Good. So now the unallocated part here has been updated. It should have been grown. You can review in the replay. It should be bigger now. My D drive, as I have cloned the disk, can be also deleted, but for this I can, so I will exit this part, exit, okay. Now I can continue by N normally. I can delete this volume, yes, yes. Now I have 645 gigabytes unallocated. My C drive is this size. So what I have, my plan was to say I want the C drive. No, let's be reasonable. We'll just write 400 gigabytes. So I want to extend it to 400 gigabytes. Now I can extend it because I have some free space here. So I'm going to extend, and this option was not available just before because there was a partition used after. I want to extend it. You can only extend the volume to the available space shown below because your disk cannot be converted to dynamic or the volume being extended is a boot or system volume. Selected. You can only extend the volume to the available. you can use space one or more disk. I don't understand. Extend the volume wizard. Continue, click next. Disk 0 selected. 6660. You can only extend the volume to the available space shown below. Okay, I will extend it on this thing. So I think I should select the amount of space in megabyte. Total volume size here. So here, okay. So currently my C is this. If I extend to the totality, which is what is left is this, the total will result with this. So me, what I want is that my C of 286 plus the selected amount should be equal to 400 gigabytes. So I need 400 minus 286. So I should add 114 gigabytes. Because 114 gigabytes plus 286 gigabytes will be equal to 400. So here I put 114 gigabytes. So let's write, I want 114 gigabytes, like this. And here we have, so the total volume size in megabytes after the extend operation will be here, 407. Okay, this is what I want. So I'm going now to click next. You selected the following settings, disk selected, disk 0. To close this wizard, click finish. I'm going to close finish. And after this, so I should have 286, which goes to 400. Good. Now it has been done, 397. Now my C drive is bigger, and I can allocate what is left. New simple volume, 533 gigabytes. Next. And I will say that I want to allocate. Let's round it a little smaller. I want to have I will leave 600 megabytes available for the system. 0, 0, 0, like this, because I know that the SSD technology needs some free space. I'm not aware if the manufacturer leave some free space internally and hide it, but me in the case, I just give it for the SSD management some extra 600 megabytes in the full terabyte. This is not a lot. Maybe it can be useful for the long term. So next, new volume. This will be named after, no problem. I will say I will be new volume. This will be archive, like this. Next, finish. Good. So now I have the C drive, my D drive, some data for the EFE partition, and some unallocated space at the end, which is very few, 612 megabytes, that I give to my SSD management. And now I have my PC here, the desktop, the PC. Now I have two very beautiful drive. The C drive properties has capacity of 400 gigabytes, which is nice, and I consume not a lot. And here properties, I have now 500 gigabytes totally available for my archive, and put some stuff with the NVMe SSD technology. So this drive will be very fast with a lot of data. Talking about the Trident 3, I will just show you something funny, which is quite impressive, in fact. If you are not used to last generation of computer, and if you have an old computer, just look at this. This is my panel with a CPU. So I have a i7 10700F, and this is my core. So I have 4x4. This is 16 threads, 4 cores, 16 threads, 16 logical processor. This thing is just crazy. So I encourage you to get some new PC with this i7. So be careful. The i7 is a brand for CPU family, but inside the i7 you can have less. So this 10700F is with these cores. You can have less cores with other i7, so beware of this. That's all I wanted to say. So I have restarted my computer, and I have plugged the SATA drive, so we see it. And I want to recover my files which were on the D drive, because I have formatted this partition. To do so, I have connected with USB-C my NVMe drive, but I do not see it there. Why I do not see it there? If I go to the Manage, Disk, Utility, I want to see if it recognizes my drive. And here we see a very interesting thing. My new NVMe drive is there with C and D. My SATA drive is there with all my backups, 1 terabyte. And my NVMe drive connected with USB is tagged as offline, and it says this disk is offline because it has a signature collision with another disk that is online. Of course, because we have cloned the disk, we have the same disk ID now. So to be able to mount this disk, we must have a different disk ID. And to do this, you can right click and set online. And this will put it online by changing the disk ID. This is easy. This should be automated. This was automated in previous version of Windows, but now Windows 10 does not automate it. And now I have my additional F drive, which has the old version of Windows, on my D drive. And here I have all my files that I will be able to copy back to my D drive here. And that's all. Last thing, once everything is done, I will be able to use cloning software, like for example Clonezilla, and I can create an image only of the C drive to put in another place. Of course, I will not do the system image recovery each time, because you saw that the drawback is that it overrides the other partition of the same physical disk, which is just a nonsense. And that's all.